You know, there are games that before the season you kind of circle and you say, okay, this is going to be a big one. This is going to be one where we're going to learn a lot about this Colts team. And even though it's in late November, no matter what the record is, you kind of measure yourself against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, it's Chiefs week, and we get to learn a lot about the Indianapolis Colts. Mooney Ward, you're going to hear, is going to be back at practice today. He's been designated to return from IR. Jaylon Carlies, designated to return. Anthony Gould is going to practice today. Samson Ebukam going to practice today. So the Colts, as close to full strength as they've been in a long time. This Colts team, you're going to hear Shane Steichen respond to a question about the Chiefs and their inability to win close games this year after showing a superb ability to win close games last year. Is it the ball bouncing funny, or is there some kind of tendency that maybe they're not seeing, that maybe opponents are seeing in getting them kind of to not reach that finish line strong at the end of games? Is there a way to stop Patrick Mahomes? What does Shane Steichen worry about most with Patrick Mahomes? All those questions get answered by Shane Steichen.
All right, I'll start off just by letting everybody know we're designating Mooney Ward and Jaylon Carlies to return to practice today. And that's it so far. But we're excited to get back on the practice field today and preparing for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mooney has been pretty active, it looks like, just from what we've seen. Normally the guy's been off that long. It's kind of a longer road back. Is he maybe closer than a guy who's been on IR?
Yeah, he's closer. He's still in the protocol. He's still got to clear the protocol, but he'll practice today. He's been getting some work in, on the side with the training staff. So looking forward to getting him back out there this week.
With Carlies, is it a longer ramp up since he hasn't played this season, or?
We'll see how the week goes. Obviously, we'll get him back out there. Yeah, it's been a long time since he's been out there, so we'll get him out on the practice field this week and see how it goes.
If and when you are able to get Mooney and Sauce, having those two guys on either side, just how does that change the complexion for the opposing quarterback?
Yeah, I think when you got two legit corners on the outside, obviously it helps your defense big time. So it'll be good. Hopefully get him back out there this week and see where it goes. So, like I said, both those guys are really good players, and when you got two really good corners, obviously it makes it tough on offense.
And I know when you hired Lou, you mentioned the head-to-head matchups you had with him, and you were always impressed. How much did what his defense did against Kansas City stand out to you over the years?
Yeah, he's done a lot of good things without getting into a lot of schematics. He does a good job with whoever the opponent is we play, and always, tries to have a great plan going into each and every week. And that's what I respect about Lou is he always tries to look at different things, to put our guys in position to go be successful.
Another injury, is Taekwon ready to practice?
Taekwon will not practice today, but Samson will.
Did Taekwon have a setback at some point? There was the one week that he practiced in full twice.
Yeah, it just wasn't there yet. It just wasn't there.
With Mooney, you know how much he cares about football. I guess how do you gauge where a guy is just mentally going through kind of a unique season for him so far?
Yeah, I think it's having conversations with him and stuff. Obviously the unique situation before the game was very unique, but he's in a good headspace. He's preparing. He's been working like crazy to get back out there. So, like I said, we're excited to get him back on the practice field this week.
What makes Mahomes, for lack of a better?
I think he's got an incredible feel for the game. Incredible feel. I think his instincts are some things that you probably can't coach when you watch him on tape. The plays he makes outside of the pocket, stepping up in the pocket, getting out of the pocket, the throws, the cross-body throws, the down-the-field throws, the intermediate throws. I think he's got a great feel for space. And I think their receivers as a whole with Kelsey and Worthy and Rice and Brown, I think they do a good job of finding those dead spots for him as well. I'm sure they practice it like crazy. And he's special when it comes to that, getting out of the pocket.
When you maybe self-scouted during the bye, when you looked at how Tyler's been used in so many different ways, what maybe just jumped out?
It was a self-scout. There's a lot of things, but yeah, we use them in different ways.
with that though, with Tyler, just the ability that he had, I could ask a better question.
Yeah.
With the ability that he has to do so many different things, 10 games into his rookie season, I know we talked about it a lot, but just how impressive is that he has been able to sustain that?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think anytime you have a player that's multiple, that can do different things and put him in positions to do those, and he's successful doing them, you know, you add more to the table when you find different things on tape that you think you can take advantage of.
Shane, there obviously seems to be a lot of trust between you and Daniel. I'm wondering, what is it about his mentality that fits so well with the way you try to coach the quarterback position in particular?
I think the biggest thing that stands out to me is the way he sees the game. He sees it the right way. When you talk football with him, a lot of guys, you go through it visually, going through the tape, looking at different things, but also you can have side conversations where you don't have to look at the tape and you kind of have, hey, here's what they're playing, we're thinking this versus this, and he can picture it in his head. And I think that pays huge dividends for us, especially through the week of preparation and how we go about our business and different checks we can get to and different looks that he sees, that we sees, to try to put us in position. And I think the communication, the back and forth with myself and the rest of the offensive staff has just been tremendous with him.
Shane, with Daniel, when he was in New York, they did a lot more quarterback design runs than you guys have done with him this year. Was there a point in evaluating him with tape or whatever through the offseason that you decided we don't need to do that for him to be successful?
Yes and no. I think obviously he still has that element to his game, but you know, we got a pretty good running back, as you guys know, that's pretty good that we can hand the ball off to. So that's been working pretty good, and we got to continue that. And you know, if there's ever a time and the place for the QB run stuff, obviously we'll have it up.
Shane, during the bye, when you guys looked over things, did anything jump out at you about the protection, not necessarily the offensive line, but the protection that's kind of been leaky the last couple of weeks?
I mean, like I said, I think every play has a different story to it. You know what I mean? Some of the, like I said, I could have done better on a lot of those things from a protection standpoint. Some of the matchups we had, you know, other times, you know, he scrambles out of the pocket, and if you run out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage, it counts as a sack. So all those things play into it. But yeah, we want to get some stuff cleaned up. It starts with myself, and we look forward to that challenge each and every week.
When you look at Spags over the years, what sticks out just about the way he calls defense?
I think he's very aggressive, and I think he does a hell of a job with the personnel that he has each and every year, rotating guys, putting them in different spots, multiple coverages on the back end, the blitz package that he has. Does a lot of different things, you know, that you got to be ready for each and every week. And he's been doing it at a high level for a long time, so just a ton of respect for him.
Kind of a random question, but throughout your career, how have you learned how to coach emotion? When you play an emotional game, the highs are high, lows are low.
Yeah.
Have you learned from anybody along the way of just
I think that's a great question. I think in this business there are highs and lows, but I think the biggest thing is being just emotional stable and being steady through the whole thing, because you're going to go through your lows, you're going to go through your highs, and it's how you respond to the lows. You know, it's easy to respond to the highs when everything's going good, but when you have lows, I think that's when your character comes out, the person you are, who you are, and I think that's, like I've always said this, that's how you grow, you know, as an individual, not as just a player and a coach, but as a human being. You're going to go through hard times, and you got to battle through those things emotionally, and you got to have great support around you to get through those times too.
Do you coach up at all Kansas City's history and like who they've been in the AFC? Do you play that, you know, to your team?
Well, I mean, we know they've been incredible, and they're still an incredible team this year. I mean, you look at them statistically, they're on tops in every category. And so we know we're going into a hostile environment against a damn good football team. And so, you know, we got to be on our details. And I told our guys this morning, I said, we're not chasing a finish line, like we're chasing progress. That's what we're looking to do each and every day, is to get better. It's one day at a time, 1 week at a time.
I think last year they were either 10-0 or 11-0, won 4 games, and 0-5. I think is the stat this year. Does this Kansas City team feel and look a lot like the team that we saw last year that made it to the Super Bowl again, even though it has a different record?
Yeah, I think for whatever reason, some of those games just haven't went their way. And they're in every single game. They're right there. If the ball bounces one way, one game, ball bounces the other game, shoot, they win all of them, you know? So they're a hell of a football team, and we got to be ready to go.
How has that team just changed, or I don't know, not thinking of a great word, like, how is this team different than maybe the team that you coached against in the Super Bowl a couple years ago? Is there anything that you notice that sticks out?
I still think they're coached really, really well. I got so much respect for Coach Reed and what he's done in his career. I mean, his resume speaks for itself. You know, they do a hell of a job, offense, defense, special teams. You know, they got a good veteran presence. Obviously, the quarterback is one of the best in the world. So We got to be on it with our details and everything we do. We know it's going to be loud, handle the noise, all those different things that we got to do this week, to go be successful.
Anthony Gould practice.
Yeah.
Shane, Carlies' constant presence can maybe on the outside look like micromanaging. I guess, what is it about her constant presence that actually endears herself to you, the other coaches and the players, the whole team?
Yeah, I think it just shows that she cares so much about this organization and her players and this team, and trying to do anything and everything to help this organization be successful and win. And anything that we need to get done around this building with the players to make it better, she does it. And I think that speaks volume as an owner, knowing that she has everyone's back in this building to do it right and do it the right way. Her mission statement: to entertain, inspire, unite, and win the right way. And she lives that every day, and it's great the involvement that she has on the practice field, in the meeting rooms, on the sideline. I mean, she's always around, and I think that carries a lot of weight, in this league.
Any other update on
Last one here.
Anthony Richardson? I know you could have technically came back to that.
Yeah, he's doing good. Obviously, I just had a conversation with him in my office. He's in good spirits, just rehabbing the eye, and we'll see where it goes from there.
So there's Shane Steichen. You get the feeling in the building that they know what's at stake this weekend. You win this game, you go 9-2. You got 4 left in your final 6 against the Jaguars and the Texans, the 2 teams that you're really vying to compete against in the AFC South, and who could take you down as the eventual champion of the AFC. It's interesting to hear Steichen say they chase progress, not results. They're not looking toward the finish line in 7 weeks. They're looking toward progress. That's what they're chasing, and that's what good teams do.